Map 2 of the Asian Minor Grand Finals about to get underway. We just watched map number 1. It was Renegades to come out on top of that one. They did exceptionally well compared to, you know, the first game they played against Renegades in the tournament went 16-14. This one was 16-12, but throughout the game it was back and forth. It was really hard to call which team was actually going to come out on top in the end. Renegades sort of had the edge towards the end of the game, picking up consecutive rounds after a while of back and forth, but overall Renegades looking pretty strong right now. They have had that game in the morning to wake them up. They've had, you know, that game against Tainted Minds. They played Train already on that one. They've also played Overpass. If that needs to come later on, they'll be pretty well suited for that, but I'm really looking forward to getting into the second map. I think this one's going to be another great game. We've seen Renegades yesterday on a Hawker. They looked pretty strong on that map.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I did see Extra actually up very early. I think it was around 7 AM. He was up, so I assume Tyloo will have watched the Renegades previous game. So maybe they've got something, you know, planned for Overpass. They could have seen Renegades play. Maybe they weren't too impressed, even though it was a convincing win. Who knows? But yeah, I think overall that first map was, I would say, a bit scrappy overall. Like I think there were certainly a few mistakes made by both teams. I think they'll both be feeling that they could have maybe done a little bit better, especially Tyloo. I'm sure will be a little disappointed because they must have felt like they could have won that map if a couple of rounds went differently. But overall, heading into Inferno, I mean, this is going to be a really, really interesting map because, again, it's another one that we saw these two teams play against each other on in that previous encounter. And we keep mentioning the fact that these two teams have played each other already because I think it really does just go to show, and it almost, you know, hypes up the fact that this is a rivalry. Like, I think we saw an interview where these teams even said we see, you know, each other as rivals because we just play each other so often.
Especially on the Asian Minor Grand final stage, they were always here together, always playing against each other for that top spot. And coming into Inferno, I'm really excited because Renegades, they have a really entertaining play style on the CT side of things. We see Tyloo. He likes to play aggressive inside of those apartments, get in, get the information, fall back, throw a little smoke down, take a couple of kills, always taking control of the apartments. Also, areas of the map, Renegades are pretty good at taking over, so, like Banana on the CT side is also very strong, but getting into the pistol round, it's going to be Renegades on the CT side, starting things off, Tyloo over on the T side. And Tyloo have been investing quite a lot into their pistol rounds in utility. We always see a smoke and a flash on either Bin's head and Excurate. And they've done it yet again, but they're slowing the play down. It was fast take towards middle. They've gone into second middle as well. And there's Tyloo in the apartments already, pretty aggressive. Got the CZ this time. They're going to come towards him. There's the first kill. Gets dropped almost immediate low. So it's down to Nifty.
Ooh, Nifty gets wrecked by the CZ. Captain Mo finding a second headshot of the round. Azza now has to hold the bomb site. He's not got any assistance. The rotate is so far away here, so Azza has to slow them down. He's doing a really good job at slowing them so far. Still Tyloo not taking him out. Azza alive and kicking, but he only gets one kill. And that means that Jacob, I mean, he is kind of in position, but the bomb will go down. Jacob gets the first kill on towards a low health Bentet. He's going to look to see if he can find anything else. Both players pushing in towards short. Somebody is going to take this one-on-one fight. Excurate not in position. They're going to try and bait each other, but it's Jacob to get the kill. I was going to say there, Tyloo, I don't know why they're fighting one by one. Jacob kind of given the chance to win that clutch. Maybe a bit of a mistake from Tyloo there because they knew exactly where Jacob was in a 2v1 and he still wins it out.
That's incredible from Jacob. He just saves Renegades into the pistol. You think there's no chance for Renegades into that one when it's a 1 versus 3. Jacob left on his own. He's in second mid as well, so they know exactly where he is. And here's these last 2 kills. They just run it right into his crosshair. And Renegades, they pick up the pistol. When all odds were against him in that situation, Jacob will pull it out for them. Tyloo. This is where they invest in a couple of pistols. Again, not going for Kevlar on this side. Just going to try and get as much as possible into the gun round. So, great start for Renegades. They are going to be looking to pick up consecutive ones to try and get those first 3. There's the kill from Jacob. Captain Mo replies with the Deagle headshot. We've already seen Tyloo and Detrain being able to pick up the second round, sort of forced by at one point. And now it's going to be Renegades back into a 4 versus 4. Not overcommitting really. JKS is at a pretty aggressive angle though towards Banana. So we can definitely pick up this kill on the Bentet, who's not going to expect him to be there. JKS will find it. He gets the triple. Pulls out the USP. Another headshot comes in. Excurate survives on 1 HP. I thought it was 4, but it's 1. He gets the kill with the P250. Pulls out the Deagle in fact now. And this is where he can try and get the damage done.
easy.
No, definitely not on 1
yeah,
HP.
by any stretch of the imagination. He's still peek towards him. Somehow doesn't connect a shot, but eventually finds the frag. Just thinking back to that pistol round quickly as well. The last time these teams played, Tyloo went for a B split. They went with 2 players up A long, and they kind of just got beat out by Renegades who were ready on the hold, and they kind of stopped the B split from happening entirely. So we saw this time Tyloo had the nade set up for an A play. So you can see that Tyloo clearly, you know, the fact they picked this map, they've got plenty of strategies for it. They're going to keep Renegades guessing. And into this 3rd round, we've got a bye for both teams, but Captain Mo already falls. Jacob with the SMG gets a 1-for-1 trade, which isn't too bad. Generally, that 1-for-1 trade will favor the T side because it does mean Renegades are a little further spread apart. But the fact that it's the SMG going down, I think means, you know, Renegades will be okay with that. And JKS also going to get up close with his MP9.
In behind the wall. Just waiting with the MP9. Has also the rifle support, but towards middle is where Tyloo player will drop and the man advantage behind for Renegades, as Nifty will catch one out. That's DD. Excurate and somebody going to be making their way up towards the A-bomb site. Still out. Going to get spotted out towards the pits. They know exactly where he's playing from now. So Tyloo, they have information. It's down to how they play off the back of it. Somebody gonna make his way through. Flashbang in, you're still obliged 3. It's gonna be a smoke down to get rid of that Molotov as they push in. It's gonna be Nifty, kill coming in, a second follow-up from Justillo, so it's all on to Bintet. He's very low HP and Justillo will not let him get anywhere near that site, and that will be Renegades 3-0.
So Justillo plays that pit position very, very often, and I think Tyloo might have been trying to counter it there with the molly, but obviously he's going to have the smoke left a fair amount of the time. I think Tyloo would have been better off having the HE grenades in that position. You know, sometimes you do want some mollies, but sometimes you also want some HE grenades in the mix, because 2 nades there into that spot would likely just take down Justillo in many of these rounds. He plays that spot. Either way, it's not going to be an option for Tyloo into this one because they haven't got any utility to speak of. It's all about the pistols in this round, and Mo is trying to see if he can find a quick headshot. Not going to be the case as of yet. Jacob thinking about pushing down Banana. Decides to play conservatively, knowing that Tyloo probably won't have the money for the buy in this round, but they are going to go for the push. Jacob needs to be a little careful here. He's stuck at sandbags, which isn't the best position, but he's going to find 2. Jacob not going to get the 3rd. It's JKS to steal it away, but between them, they are locking this down as they line up for JKS. Solid banana hold from the 2 Renegade star players.
The Renegades, they get themselves the 4 on the board. Starting to look pretty good for them, but here's another challenge from Tyloo. It's going to be thrown at them. It's going to be the buy from the Tyloo side. It's going to be the utility out, along with the AKs and the AWP. Over on Renegades, all the rifles across the board. JKS, interestingly enough, the only player without a kit. The rest of them do. Molotov comes in towards Banana. CT is just preventing Tyloo from getting any early control towards this area of the map, and such a crucial area to take control of, and Bintet may have just been able to grab himself an edge towards Banana, but his teammate throws a Molotov in front of him, preventing him from going any further. So Tyloo, man advantage is there to work with, building up the pressure towards Banana.
Yeah, that Molotov, I mean, it did stop Bintet from moving forwards, but it's very unlikely that the second player is going to stick around towards Banana anyway. You know, as soon as Jacob goes down, JKS just kind of has to give up that position. It is kind of surprising to see JKM and JKS play the same bomb site towards B. You would think that maybe that would leave the other side of the map a little bit weakened, because I think generally you would expect JKS and Jacob to be the 2 standout performers on the Renegades side. Seems like Jacob is certainly taking up a more star player role in this team. And again, JKS is about to be tested. 5 players coming his way. I mean, I know JKS is good, but this seems a little extreme. The Incendiary will slow things down, but the Renegades players aren't really in position. Look at the minimap. They're all at the short side of A, so they're going to have an incredibly long rotation. As the push comes in, JKS is going to struggle to hold here.
Fully blinded, JKS holds Stead, first kill, second kill, and he's doing an excellent job at holding. Brings them down and allows his teammates to get in. There's the bomb dropped in JKS. What a hold. 4 kills, and Tyloo have just been ripped apart by one man on the B bomb site. Execute is away, back down towards the bottom of Banana to hang his head in shame, carrying the op as Renegades. They will pick up their 5th round.
Jacob let out a massive cheer after, because Jacob was the first man to die at Banana. He was watching JKS's POV, and he got to see this beautiful play. This is simply sublime from JKS. That last flick, incredibly quick. And even though Renegades leave him completely alone on the B bomb site, he dismantles the push single-handedly. Execute's going to get an AWP into this round. The rest of the team don't have the buy, so they're really working off the back of this one sniper because... Oh, sorry, he didn't buy the AWP, right? He saved it at the end there because that push just got completely destroyed, so he was left having to save. That smoke is a slight gap in it. I wonder if Renegades are aware of that. You'd think they would be, but if they weren't aware of the fact, Execute might be able to peek off the back of it. It's not going to be the case, though. Currently just holding the corner. Jacob is currently rotating off the B-bomb site. He's ready and waiting on A. The rotate has come through, but this crossfire is just going to shut it down. Azza finds himself a couple, and it is Nifty to do the work alongside him. A 6-0 lead for Renegades, exactly the start they would have hoped for, and you can already see their money really starting to build.
That's something that is quite incredible on the CT side, to be able to build your money up this quickly, which is very, very scary for Tyloo, because obviously you want to try and control the economy game, but if you're allowing Renegades to get this much money on the CT side of things, then that's a little bit scary for Tyloo. I mean, we've seen Renegades CT side yesterday. It's very entertaining to watch. They like to play this sort of style where they do some aggression inside the apartments, you know, leave 100 towards the B bomb site because they have enough confidence in JKS to hold, as we've seen why. JKM this time will find the kill towards B early doors, so Renegades again presented with a man advantage. And they've been having quite a high percentage win rate after picking up the man advantage, so this is looking pretty solid for them. Tyloo, nothing really working for them currently. Intent will find the headshot onto JKS, pulls it into a 4 versus 4. And you still, oh, this is the aggression we're talking about, Alex. This straight up through apartments. Where he is now, this could be nasty for Tyloo. There's somebody gonna fall, and who still falls back safely with another man advantage being pulled back in their favor.
The bomb's going back towards Banana. Very well timed push for Eastlow to get the kill, but it's Jacob alone towards B. He's still committed to this corner, and he will go down. I'm not a massive fan of that position from Jacob there. I think if you have a teammate, that's fine, but he's stuck in towards sandbags. He can't fall back to the site, and a 1-for-1 trade is okay, but it gives up the bomb site, and maybe Jacob would have been better off kind of playing a different position where he could fall back, he could try and slow them down. Instead now, Renegades are forced to try and retake 3v2, and Tyloo have themselves a fairly good chance here, as Renegades try and push their way forwards.
And Tet just sitting in barbecue with the help of DD. He's on the opposite end of the smoke towards CT, and Renegades. The retake needs to come in. The flashbangs there. It's a decent crossfire from Tyloo. They just really need to get these kills. There's the kill from DD. Pintet finds one as well, and he'll win it out for Tyloo. Your star player steps up when needed. 4 kills for Pintet, and the first round finally on the board for Tyloo.
I think Nifty might have missed a really crucial shot there. I heard an AWP shot being rattled off, and he was the man pushing through CT. I'm not exactly sure. This is that first kill from Ustillo. That was a very well-timed one, and yeah, Nifty not able to get it done with the AWP. I'm kind of surprised they left Nifty alone at CT with the AWP there, because he would have had it difficult to trade, but oh, they were trying that run boost in towards mid. That's really cool when it works. You can get an incredibly quick peek in towards mid. I think it might have been Godsent who did that first, but you can go for a run boost straight at the start of the round. The AWP gets a good angle towards the mid position, but they mess it up this time around, so no run boost coming into play, but Nifty's still going to get the opening kill in towards apartments. Somebody peeking a little bit alone there. No chance for the trade, which is something you can sometimes see from Tyloo. They do like to make some individual plays. This time it's not going to pay off for them as they go a man down yet again.
Renegades will have another attempt at this with the man advantage. Some heroic play from Bintet. Tyloo looked a little bit shaky in the last round even. Still managed to win it out. Grenade goes over the top of the wall. JKS going to fall back. Has help arriving shortly in the form of JKM, who's coming back from his rotator position. Tyloo, another attempt towards B, it seems. They take top banana control. They've got control of it now. Bintet going over the top for a little bit of a boost here, and JKM loses his life. It's down to JKS. What an anchor hold he is, but only gets one this time. DD eliminates him. And that will be the bomb going down for Tyloo. DD nearly gets the kill, but Hazard's too quick on the trigger. Last two Tyloo players are very, very low indeed. Renegades coming in with a mad advantage into the retake. They have to be careful not to give it away. Excrete down towards Banana. Captain Mo, a lot of pressure building on his shoulders. He's in dark and he gets instantly eliminated by Ustillo, and it's all into Excrete. Down inside of Banana, has the ball planted for him. Nice flick from Excrete, but unable to get the second. Very difficult to hit. And that will be Renegades 7-1.
Yeah, it was a cool, like, small thing from Tyloo there at the start of the round. Just that boost over the top of the smoke made the push a lot easier, right? Because you get the opening pick, then you leave JKS alone on the B site. You know that he's pretty likely to be in a different position. They're not going to have two players in Ruins, so it really limits the amount of positions that JKS could have played from. They eventually find him in towards that exact same spot behind the triple box, and Nifty with the AWP had a decent spawn there. Ooh, Nate goes down mid. He's up against pistols, so he shouldn't be in too much trouble. Kills coming through. Oh, Captain Mo finds one back. JKS now needs to lock this one down. He's going to deploy the smoke, which basically means he's giving away that rifle. He's saying, guys, Tyloo, you can have the gun, but I'm going to try and hold the bomb site. And I think that's probably the right call there. Even though you give DD an M4, it's still Renegades who have the advantage, and they have Tyloo completely cornered at Banana.
Ustillo finds DD, and Ustillo just holding, gets another one. Nifty will find Bintet. That will be Renegades again, another round for them on the board, and they're definitely looking strong now, Hawker. They're coming into their own. Tyloo, they get one. It's a heroic play from Bintet. So other than that, Tyloo have just looked lost here on Inferno, and it's not great for them either. I think Renegades, you know, their CT side is definitely the stronger point for them. If we move on, if they get as many rounds as possible on the CT side with their aggression and style. Look at this run boost from Nifty though. Gonna get run boosted over. No one there, luckily for Tyloo. For sure would have lost his life there.
Yeah, that's the one they were trying in the previous round that they kind of messed up a little bit. I think Nifty didn't quite get to jump on his teammate's head. But it's definitely a nice way to get an opening pick if there's an opponent AWPer there. If not, then it's unlikely Tyloo are going to be towards that angle. But yeah, interestingly, again, when these two teams played Inferno, I mean, I keep saying this. I'm sure chat is loving it because I've said this so many times. But it was both teams getting 11 rounds on their CT side. So I think both of these teams, will be much more comfortable on the CT side of things. So maybe not completely out of the question for Tyloo, but they're going to have to get a few more rounds than one, that's for sure. Push going to come through A long. Nifty is currently the man holding there with the AWP. Looks like the nades won't be deployed. Tyloo gained brackets control. Now the smoke comes through, rather. I think there's a gap in that. Yeah, Nifty could easily see there, so he can spot the fact that Tyloo haven't pushed forwards just yet. He might even be able to get a pick, because Mo will probably expect that to be completely cut off. Let's see. Oh, no, Nifty misses that first shot.
That's a little bit unexpected. JKM, however, will not miss. He will take that kill, look for more, but Bintet will reply. Nifty being pressured, missing the shot, sticks around too long. Overstays his welcome, and Tyloo, this is their chance. They've got a man advantage, being pulled back from the pit. Ustillo is the anchor. Somebody will land right on top of his head and find him, but JKS, he's a player you want to have in these situations, and there we go. 9-1 for Renegades, and you feel for Tyloo. That was an extremely close round, and it comes down to Ustillo really making the difference there. Tyloo seemed to have overwhelmed Renegades at that point. They had the A bomb site. It was down to Ustillo really using that pit wall to his advantage, able to take down multiple players, and then JKS, you're just always going to bank on him being confident enough just to go straight for that clutch. Somebody didn't know what was hitting him there. JKS just walks right round the corner. 9-1 for Renegades. And Tyloo, their money's in the bin.
Kind of interesting that Tyloo, I don't think, have taken a tactical timeout as of yet. Probably would have been expected they would have taken one by this point. It's only pistols again for them, though. And that's the problem for Tyloo right now. Every single round they lose, they go straight back down to a weak buy where they're unlikely to be able to have as good of an opportunity. Renegades playing pretty passively on the B-bomb site. Again, it's the standard JKS and Jacob hold. The double J combo, and Jacob's going to get the first kill. DD not able to do anything, and there was no real chance for the trade. Smoke comes in. Again, no utility for Tyloo makes this so much more difficult. I'd really like them to just have at least a couple of flashes here. The boost is, again, a reasonable idea, but JKM has already repositioned. And once that smoke fades, there's a chance he could get a couple of kills here. The push comes in. Jacob finds one. Jacob finds two. Jacob makes it look easy. 3 kills on the hold. And a 10-1 lead now for Renegades. And they're looking good right now. They might just take this 2-0.
Renegades have really come into form in the Asian Minor towards the end of it. They started off shaky. They're peaking late in the tournament, which is great to see from them. They're looking strong to take this grand final as well. I think the pressure's off for both teams now as well because they already have qualified for the major. So the pressure is kind of off them. The main goal has been achieved. This is a bit of a bonus, and DD going to take the headshot through still this time. The aggression not working out for Renegades. So Tyloo, this may be their chance to upset a couple more rounds into the half. Azza though, this is a good position.
The bomb's still back near T-Ramp.
Whoa.
JKS goes through the smoke and ends up going down. Eventually, Azza, well, I guess gets a kill, but it's way too late. Renegades are going to be out of this round. Bit of a weird one there from Renegades. I mean, I thought Azza might have been able to make the difference, but I don't think they expected Tyloo to still just be holding across the map. That's why JKS went barreling through that smoke. Still could be important that Jacob does some damage, but he won't be able to. Exgrit finishes him off, and it will be Tyloo finally getting their second round on the board. A little bit late, but, you know, better late than never. Maybe if they can salvage a few more, they can at least put up a fight here. As you can see, Tyloo's still going to have a buy. Exgrit with that AWP on the ground. Over on the Renegades side, you'd have thought they'd have way more money than this. They've been dominant so far, and yet they don't have much in the bank. So if Tyloo win this, there's a real chance they could reset that money and get themselves at least a few rounds on the board.
So Renegades, they're not short for money, that's for sure. So they'll have another buy.
It's always Mo taking the nades. I feel like that's what I've noticed. I feel bad for him.
Poor guy can't run away from them.
Yeah. He's only down to 57 HP this time, though. It's not too bad. It's doable. Renegades are going to have the 4-man A stack now. JKS again being left alone as that B bomb site's anchor. Looks like Tyloo are going to be probing towards A. Not necessarily pushing as of yet. Loads of nades up here. That makes it really awkward for Tyloo, but the bomb's going to go back towards Banana. Again, JKS is here on the hold alone. Let's see if he can step it up. High flash goes off. Blinds the first player, but Mo lands an excellent shot. Completely taking over that B bomb site. And Tyloo might just have themselves a way back into this one because, especially with Renegades not having money in the bank, they can't really afford to risk this retake.
Tyloo seem to have just kind of woken up a little bit. It'd be scary if Renegades had awoken the sleeping dragon. Tyloo definitely have a situation on their hands where they can get 5. And 5, 10, 5, that's actually a normal half on Inferno. But that's actually a pretty good half. So Tyloo, if they can get these last couple of rounds, you know, the disaster evaded, really, and they'll be back into the game. If they can win the pistol, then it's pretty much even at that point. So Tyloo definitely just need to get these last 2. Renegades, couldn't really commit to the retake because their money has been finally chipped away at to the point where if they lose, they're not going to have any, really. So yeah. This is a really good opportunity for Tyloo. They've built up a little bit of momentum. This round is important for Renegades to win if they want to get any more than 10 on the board for the half. And Tyloo definitely trying to get a little bit more than just the 3 that they have. So let's see what they can get done.
This is the first time we've seen a switch up from Nifty with the AWP. He's come towards Banana with the rest of the team, and Exgrit's about to fight him. Oh, what a flash. Exgrit in all kinds of trouble. He's the first man to fall. Again, good utility usage from Renegades. Always at Banana, you see those nades be very, very important. And that full flash gets the opening kill, and I think Nifty just got one through the smoke. Nicely done either way, giving his team an even better advantage. Because of that, Renegades are going to make sure they have a fair few players ready to hold the A side of the map. And Tyloo here, they've just been picked apart. One by one, they all go falling down. And Somebody and Buntet have a mountain to climb here in a 2v5.
This is a great round for Renegades. Of course, they obviously wanted to get a little bit more than 10, and this was the crucial round to change that. So Somebody and Bintet are now left. It will be an easy spread out for Azur, who will find both of them and confirm the 11th round for Renegades. So last round of the half, Tyloo going to go for 4, and Renegades for 12. 12-3 would be a difficult score to come back from, although Tyloo are a team that have got the sort of mental attitude they can come back from that. They definitely can.
So Nifty's kill was just before the smoke bloomed. I think the Tyloo player kind of got baited in by hearing that smoke and decided to try and peek before it bloomed to try and see if he could find a pick. And that allowed Nifty to extend the advantage further. And for the second round in a row, it's a 3-man B stack for Renegades. You can see Nifty there with the AWP looking to find an angle. The deep smoke won't allow the AWP to find a pick, but it will allow Renegades to gain full control of Banana. And you know what that means? They are going to rotate all the way back over towards the A side of the map. They're leaving Nifty alone towards B with the AWP. Bit of pressure on him here. He's currently playing not the best position, in my opinion. I'd prefer him to jump up to that wall on the left-hand side and just be able to fall back quickly if he misses the first shot. But it looks like Nifty will be okay because Tyloo are grouping up around the A bomb site. The bomb is still very far behind, so this might not be an A play, but they're at least going to look for some control towards top mid. Now that that's been gained, though, what is the end goal for Tyloo? Because, again, that bomb's all the way back towards T ramp, but they have found an opening towards A.
Jacob. He's on the opposite end of the wall, inside of the archway, but Tyloo not going to commit to that angle, so the pressure will be put towards currently Nifty. But this is a great angle. You can just leave the AWP in this position because you can get one falling behind the wall. He's going to spot the kill and indeed falls in behind the wall, but goes for a little bit more. Could have been a little bit risky, but the smoke covers him off, so he falls back. And this is an amazing way to play the AWP. So you get a pick, you fall back to an angle where you have cover, you just keep retreating. Find a kill, retreat, and just keep that going. And that way you're eliminating, you see again, Nifty being able to take extra. He falls back once again in behind more cover, misses that shot this time, but Jacob's there to bail him out. Nifty falls, he gets one before he falls, and that will be 12-3 for Renegades in the half. An excellent performance from them, and Tyloo may be feeling the heat now because Renegades, just to reiterate, if anybody's just joining us, Renegades are up by 1 map, which is looking pretty crazy for them. I mean, the last time these guys played in the Asian Minor Final, Tyloo were able to edge it out, so Renegades looking for revenge.
Obviously, a vital pistol round for Tyloo. They're 12-3 down. A lot of pressure on this upcoming round, and we're about to get into it. I'm interested to see what Renegades do on this one, because we see Renegades not necessarily play well, they play a fair amount of Inferno, right? So they should have a few sort of strategies in place, and Nifty has got himself a smoke and 2 flashes. See where that smoke's going to go. Okay, so the smoke will go in towards the A side of the map. That's actually prompted a rotation already. Tyloo having the 4 stacked towards A, but oh no, are they fully rotating off here? The minimap is looking bad right now. I think Renegades are going to go towards B, and this is dicey for Tyloo. They've fully committed. They've fully fallen for this one. They're going to get maybe 1 or 2 kills. If the push comes in, it's Nifty to get them both. How has that happened? This round should be over. Tyloo completely out of position, as Nifty even looks for more. He finally falls, but the B site is completely lost.
That is absolutely crazy. Nifty. Both kills, vastly different positions. Had to do a full 180 to take the second kill. And Tyloo, they're under a lot of pressure. Execute tries to get into the ruins. He'll get 1 headshot. DD elsewhere drops to Jacob. So it's a 3 versus 2. Tyloo have Captain Mo and Execute to try and clutch this one out. Tyloo, very low HP on Execute left. So he's going to have to somehow pull off a miracle to win this one. And they're putting a lot of pressure on him. And he will go down as Jacob will seal the deal. What a play from Renegades. Tyloo fully commit back towards the A site, and Renegades go to the opposite end. It was a standard B split as well. It was just kind of a little bit of a fake, and then a B split, and then an archway. These kills from Nifty were immense. Finding both of those kills is very, very difficult to do indeed. And JChem obviously making the difference elsewhere on the map. So 13-3, it's looking likely that Renegades are going to be winning this Asian Minor if Tyloo cannot put a stop to it in the next few rounds.
Not really sure I agree with Tyloo saving here. I think they might as well just go for the buy. They're just so far behind. 10 rounds down, not too many chances. I mean, I guess they want to at least get one full buy, and, ooh, actually, they are going to stack the B-bomb site. Maybe this gives them a chance here. Already 3 players in position, a couple more coming
It's
through.
full rotate from Tyloo.
Yeah, the nades are in place, but Tyloo have got this stack here. A little bit of team damage. This is going to be such a scrappy round. You could already see the fights coming in as Buntet doesn't get the kill, but it's stolen away from him. JKS in the meantime doing damage. What the hell is going on? It's Buntet who gets a kill through the smoke. What is happening right now? Jacob's back in a 1v1, both players low, and Jacob realizes he can reroute over towards A. A really, really sloppy round. I don't really know what the hell just happened, but what I do know is that it's a 1v1, and Jacob is definitely going to have the time on his side because there's no kit to work with on that CT side of things.
Jacob has a chance to pull this back to normality. That was such a strange round. Renegades walking right into a stack of Tyloo.
Oh.
And I think the... Oh,
right
no.
now.
Oh, the timing. Bentat, he should
him.
be hard out, though, yeah. He has an AK. Both players are very low in a different world. Oh, no. See, the timing is just so... unlucky. It just works in 2 different ways. Jakem going to give away his position. Bentet, no kit, has to move quickly. Very low, and Jakem will avert the danger. And that will be Renegades 14-3. That was a bit of a messy round.
Yeah, definitely. That's why you like seeing the plant in that position. Is Jacob's finding something very funny. But was that Parla? I don't know. I don't know who I just saw, but Jacob's position of planting there was really nice because he can just spray like 5 bullets towards the bomb, and he's confident that the man's not on the defuse, right? The player has to be in that exact angle, so it makes it a lot easier to figure out if it is a if the defuse is happening or not. And maybe they were laughing because they've taken the tactical pause. I don't know, but they're 14-3 up. They take the tactical timeout. Again, like, I honestly don't think this is such a bad idea because it's going to be Tyloo's first gun round anyway. Like, you might as well just make sure you can close it out as cleanly as possible. And into this round 18, that's what they will be trying to do. 14-3 in favor of Renegades. And here we go. It's now or never for Tyloo.
It's not a great buy either for Tyloo. I mean, they've got a couple of SMGs into it. There's going to be a lot of pressure on them in this one. Renegades coming into it with 4 AK-47s. Bentek goes for a question. Somehow Jakem will win that duel. And that's somebody getting aggressive with the MP9. Gets one. That's the bomb. So you now know where that is. At least that's something to work with. But Tyloo still with a man deficit. And also the weaker weaponry. I believe the 2 rifles are still afloat on the Tyloo team. No counter utility though, so they won't be able to slow anything down from Renegades. And the Renegades have so much utility left, so there's so many options for them to explore.
This is the kind of position where Tyloo need to, again, make a mid-round call of some sort. Like, look at how spread out they are. There's no chance whatsoever for any trade kills for the Tyloo players. Even the 2A players are in completely different positions. I think they need to take some sort of risk here. I mean, you don't have the nades, but if you're sitting back, you can't really expect to win the round unless someone has an incredible hold. I guess the gamble they're sort of taking is leaving Xgurt alone on B with just the UMP, but I don't know if that's enough, especially because it seems as though Renegades are set on this B bomb site. So good luck to Xgurt. The UMP ready and waiting on the hold, but Renegades have a fair few nades. They're not going to use them, though. If they don't use the nades, they could sneak forwards, but Xgurt's going to spot them out. UMP gets a dink, but he's forced to fall back, and Xgurt might have to give up the site here.
Indeed he has, and the smoke will cover Xgurt off. It's going to get shut down by Nifty right through it, though, and that will almost immediately give Renegades the 15th. So Tyloo, do they want to try and get these M4A4s into the next round? I think that's the call. DD is in the lion's den at the minute. There's really no way out for him unless they exit through Banana. And indeed they are going to be doing that. So he may just be able to run out of ruins back into CT, but they're doing a lot of fire through that. They know it's a possibility. So DD, this is an opportunity to run away. Get this M4A4 into the next round. Of course he is unaware that there could be players anywhere. So he has to be very cautious when he's leaving. to get this M4. So 15-3, Renegades on championship point for the Asian minor. And, you know, that pause from Renegades,
working out.
It definitely works out. I don't really know what the goal of it is. I mean, obviously it's to perhaps get in the head of Tyloo. That could be something. Although Tyloo realizing they're in a pretty dire position, although the pressure, again, is off both of the teams. We're coming into the could be final round of the Asian minor. It is going to be Renegades out onto the 5 AK-47s. Tyloo. It's a bit of a mismatch, really. They've got themselves 2 FAMAS, a UMP, 2 M4s, tiny bit of utility. It's very sparingly here and there.
Really good amount of damage done, though. Tyloo's nades have done a lot here. You can see 3 Renegades players already down below half health. Renegades still going to be able to gain control of Banana. Jacob leading the charge. That nade might connect. Ooh, somebody just avoids it. And he's not happy about that nade landing. He managed to avoid it, though, so he's all good. As Renegades, with a little over a minute left on the clock, will just hold back. They've still got a couple of players over on the A side of the map, so it doesn't seem likely they're going to go for a push soon, unless JKS gets flashed in. They might not know he's here. JKS gets the first, but the trade comes out. That fake hasn't really done enough, though. Tyloo don't really fall for it. They're going to have 2 players ready on the B bomb site. Let's see if they can lock this down. Oh,
bit 10. Gonna grab himself 1. Renegades pushing in, but it's Bintet to step up with 3. It's all onto Nifty. Kill comes in from Nifty, pulls it into a 1 versus 2. He's gonna try and get that bomb down. DD hears it out. He's gonna push very aggressively through ruins.
Okay, I was gonna say, he only has 3 bullets left, so I thought DD might just straight away go for the fight, but he wants to wait for his teammate. Nifty is allowed to reload, but he's stuck in this position.
Nifty indeed is stuck in this position, finds DD, 1 versus 1. Nifty could be the man to take it over the line for Renegades, but saved by Accurate. And that will be the 4th round for Tyloo. Could this spur a comeback from the Chinese side?
I don't believe it could, personally, but maybe some of the viewers at home have a different idea. I mean, it's not exactly going to be easy for them. Let's be honest. It's cool to see them still be vocal, though. I really like the fact that they're trying till the end. You saw for a second there, Buntet was very vocal, making sure that he still makes the calls for the team. They're still clearly trying here, which is I think nice to see. You know, some teams might have given up by this point, but Tyloo, they're going to fight to the death, and you got to give them credit for that into this next round. If Renegades lose this one, they would likely be forced down to a low buy. So that's obviously the aim for Tyloo. We'll see if it can work for them, though, because Renegades already leaning towards A. Executor's flash doesn't actually blind anyone there. Luckily for him, he is not going to stick around, though. He will fall back. Looks like Renegades want to go for that top mid presence. Executor, gets a kill through the smoke. A little more damage to boot. It's a man advantage again for Tyloo.
DD nearly extends upon it. Nifty going to fall inside the middle. Tyloo. Definitely just trying to get as many rounds as possible. Just take it round by round. And, I mean, it's very possible that you can come back from a deficit like this. We've seen it time and time again. Shots coming through. Jacob able to chime into somebody. Executor is onto JKS, but it's all onto Jacob. So it looks like Tyloo will be getting themselves their 5th. And the money for Renegades is in the bin. So this is a great opportunity, really, for Tyloo to build up a little bit of confidence, perhaps a little bit of momentum. And when you are building up the confidence and momentum, you just take it round by round. And, I mean, you'll get a couple of free rounds here, maybe 1 or 2. When it comes, because the economy of Renegades won't be too strong, you'll get some easier rounds, I guess. And so Tyloo, if they can get themselves to double figures, that's when it becomes doable in your head. That's when you start to realize, okay, we're very close to pulling this one back. Intent. He's going to spray through, gets 1. In fact, I thought he would have got a little bit more there, but he got an assist from Execute. And Tyloo just wrap upon the pistols, don't let them have any space, just getting that confidence built up in the eco rounds, and that will be Tyloo. 6 on the board, definitely making this look competitive once again.
Do you want a reason to believe, Dinko? Well, the last time these two teams played, it was Renegades that won the T-side pistol, and then they lost 11 rounds in a row on their T side. Tyloo went on an insane streak, so they'll be looking to do the same here, obviously, and clearly Tyloo will be confident in their gun rounds, so maybe that gives them a chance. As you can see, they can also just play like with a completely aggressive style, where there's no pressure on them. Somebody's just going to go through the molly. He's going to try and make plays, and I think that's almost when Tyloo can be at their best sometimes, when the individuals are willing to take these risks. If somebody were to push further, he could catch them in the back. But Renegades, they're going to all group up towards the A-bomb site, and somebody is pushing forwards. He's about to spot the bomb, and he's about to flank, but he only finds one. That could have been a huge spray down if he found multiple kills. Could have made the difference, and it is at least a one-for-one trade. And it also stops Renegades from going for that push. And Renegades used a fair few nades trying to push in towards top mid there, so they don't have too much utility left for the later round.
Tyloo just look like a completely different team currently. The confidence seems to be there again. The aggression, the fluidity and their movement seems to be a lot better as well. Bintet can spot out a couple of players coming towards Banana. 45 seconds left on the clock, and Bintet holds in behind the fountain. He will find the first and the... No, never mind. I thought he for sure would have got the second, but Tyloo, it's still even. 3 versus 3. The bomb tries to go down. The shot from Excurate. A collateral through a wall, and Excurate goes ham. A third as well. What a hold from Excurate. Absolutely rips apart Renegades. And puts 7 rounds on the board for Tyloo, and that's the type of play. You see what it means to Excurate there. That's the type of play that can just, you know, open up a team's confidence, open up all the sort of good team morale that you need. That shot was incredible, and a little bit of luck perhaps as they line up, but still able to find the third as well, and that puts Tyloo with 7 on the board. And you can see, like, Renegades definitely feeling the heat currently. This is they had control throughout the entire beginning of the game. Coming into the second half, it looked like it was going to be an easy run for them, and then suddenly they have awoken the sleeping dragon of Tyloo, who are coming back into this game, and Renegades need to take a pause to let themselves cool off.
It's only 4 rounds in a row, though. Like, it's 15-7. I don't know why Renegades were looking so down there.
I think it's because it's the fashion that has happened. Tyloo definitely looking like a different team.
I mean, yeah, but Renegades have taken a couple of these rounds close already. Like, I like the fact that, again, Ryu's there to just give them some, you know, give them some words of advice and just let them know that they're still massive favourites at this point. Somebody gets a double spray down through the smoke. Push is going to come in. Buntet is right in the midst of them. What is going on? He's in the smoke. He lets them pass. Buntet is going to get 2. There's a second player here. Nifty is going to find him. This round has been a complete crapshoot in towards Banana, but it is Nifty on 13 HP who will likely go down shortly, because Tyloo know exactly where he is, and there is Captain Mo to secure it. For what it's worth, again, it's you know, Buntet, has been one of the really solid players, but also Excurate. I think the 2 Indonesians have probably been the best 2 players for Tyloo throughout this series. So that's always nice to see, the fresh blood having the good performances for Tyloo.
Tyloo, that's going to be another round for them to add to their collection. Definitely starting to edge their way back into the game. Renegades, they will have another buy here, so they'll have another crack at it. Tyloo, the aggression towards Banana will not be allowed today, as in this round, as the Molotovs all over the top Banana area. Excurate, you can see he's hungry to get some more. He's tasted victory and he wants some more of that. He's going to be pushing in. The grenade going to land on top of him. Doesn't do too much. He's dropped down to 73. Significant enough, though. Flashbang comes through. That'll force Excurate back. He still lands the shot. Such quick reactions. And now a man advantage is there for Tyloo. Renegades really have to fight back from this deficit. And with a minute left on the clock, Tyloo just got to hold on as Renegades have still got options to explore. They'll make their way up towards top middle, carrying the bomb. Renegade, Tyloo sitting pretty far back on this A-bomb site, having 1 in the pit, 1 in the graveyard, and 1 inside of Archway. Nifty spots the player inside of the pit. That's Captain Mo. He's going to reply with a counter flash to the player inside of the graveyard. DD going to get caught out by the op of Nifty. Azure finds somebody, and this is falling apart for Tyloo. Man advantage for the T side, and it's extended upon as Excurate and Bintet. Last 2 players alive coming in for the retake situation. The bomb ticking away. Bentet going to come through from Library. We've got FACEIT coming in from Archway. You said, Alex, that these 2 players, the Indonesian duo, best players for Tyloo currently in this series, and throughout most of the tournament as well, have been playing very, very on fire. They've got a shot here.
They've been slowed down by these smokes so much, though. That makes it even more difficult. I mean, the time is really against them now. They have to go. They just have to go through the smoke. There goes FACEIT falling, and Buntet is about to fall as well.
Yeah.
This is over and done with. It's Renegades to secure themselves the victory here at the Asian Minor, and $30,000 as a first place prize. And you can see they're pretty excited about that one. I think Jacob just high-fived some fist bumps there, but you know what? We'll let it happen because Renegades are the champions. And I think on Inferno, it was pretty much never in doubt for them, right? We've kind of known this for a while, that they were probably going to win, but just in general, a very impressive performance from Renegades. And also, I think Nifty has definitely showed up a little more in this series, which is something that I think will really push Renegades over the edge.
Yeah, definitely. I think Renegades, there's a point there in the second half of Inferno where we're like, oh no, maybe Renegades may lose a couple, maybe losing control of it, but Tyloo just not fine. No,
I always believed.
Tried to build a storyline. Come on, you have to build a little bit of hype. But Tyloo definitely looked a little bit stronger in the second half, a little bit flat to begin with, though, and that allowed Renegades to build up the numbers. The rounds just kept coming in for the Renegades team, and it's good to see some the rivalry building again between the Tyloo and Renegades. Obviously, in the last minor, I already said that, you know, Tyloo were the victors of that one, so it's good to see a fresh face being a winner of the minor. Of course, it's usually Renegades and Tyloo in the grand final every minor Asian final, but yeah, Renegades are the champions this time, and Tyloo, they're all both qualifying for the major, so it's not, they're not going to lose too much. It's just the bragging rights really of that one being the champions of the Asian minor. But I definitely really like the style of play from Renegades on Inferno. The style that they bring to Inferno is definitely when they get aggressive inside of the apartments. It's definitely interesting to watch from Estilo. We've seen banana control. They'll leave one player left there with the AWP, is usually Nifty. They leave him on the wall, and they can all fully rotate back to A and have like a 4-man setup with JKM rotating in between, and JKS as well. He's such a good anchor on that B-bomb side as well.
That's what I was about to say. JKS probably the best player throughout the entirety of the Asian minor. And I think coming into this one, yeah, I would have put him up there as one of the best, but I'd have maybe even said that Buntet would exceed him. However, JKS, I think, was single-handedly the best player throughout. I mean, there was even that map on Train at the start of this series where it looked like he was getting off to a slow start. And even when he was having a bad game, he just popped up with that 4K to win Renegades an incredibly important round. He was always having impact. And yeah, this Renegades roster looks very well-rounded at this point, which is certainly good to see. And again, that's with the fact that Nifty wasn't performing as we expected towards the start of the tournament. So the fact they still come back to win this minor is very impressive.
Yes, well, that's going to be it from me and Alex here at the minor. We've had a great time. It's been excellent and great fun. Yeah. And congratulations to both Tyloo and Renegades for qualifying through to the major. And congratulations, extra congratulations to Renegades for being the champions of the Asian minor. That is it from me and Alex. We're going to throw it over to the floor with Freya.
Thank you very much, guys. So congratulations on that win. There is some clear rivalry in the Asian scene between you and Tyloo. How does it feel to come out with that win?
It seems like in the finals we've never lost to Tyloo since I've been a part of the team, so I'm really happy of how we've been playing in these minors. It's good that we just get through them. To us, it's kind of just taking care of business. We really want to be in the next stages of the major. We really don't want to come back to another minor, so we want to make it further than we ever have before.
And JKS, how does it feel to come out top of the Asian minor?
Yeah, it feels really good. Hopefully this time we can make legends at the major, so we don't actually have to come back to the minor and struggle again. But yeah, it feels really good.
So Train was pretty back and forth until about round 25, I believe, where you guys seemed to gain a lot of momentum. Was this a turning point for the team?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of like focused up and we were doing some things that we wouldn't normally do in the beginning, but that's kind of, we just wanted to make it weird for them. I don't know, just some things that we wanted to change up on the city side, but we just made a couple adjustments and it worked out.
Yeah, because it seemed to work out really well. You countered them very well, especially when they were trying to be a little bit more aggressive on their CT side. I'm just thinking about down Ivy when you did that boost. I think it was you, Silo. How did you manage to counter their aggression?
Well, at the beginning of our CT half, they were putting a lot of pressure on Ivy. I'm not really sure why, because if we play Ivy the way we normally do, they wouldn't have control of it for like a minute. So they were just wasting a lot of time. And even when we made that adjustment to go just default Ivy, they waited and still took it back. And it just wasted a lot of time for them, and it gave us a lot of time to hold on to our nades and then kind of group up and expect where they're going to go after that. So they kind of.
So do you feel like you could read them better than they could read you?
Yeah.
So going into Inferno, which was their map pick, you guys managed to close out pretty convincingly. What were you focusing on there, JKS?
I think we were just trying to play our own game because we know that we have a really strong Inferno. So we're trying to take a lot of banana control and just to keep it away from them, because these guys, when they have banana control, they kind of just like to explode on a site like really easily. So we just try to lock down banana, and yeah, every time they came KA, we pretty much just killed them. And yeah, I think that was the key, just taking banana away from them.
So speaking of locking down B, I just want to talk about round 5 of Inferno, where you got that incredible 4K when they were just rushing onto site. They just didn't seem to be able to stop you. What happened there?
Yeah, I think they screwed up their Molotov on triple, so I kind of just used it, and I just picked behind the smoke, and I killed the first 2 guys, and the molly fade, and I just took the 1v1 duels on the last 2 guys.
The real answer is he's just sick. So.
You have been performing incredibly well, as most of the team have been. I think Azza mentioned in our last interview that you wanted to focus a bit more on your CT side, which definitely happened on Inferno. I think you guys finished 12-3. So was that something you were focusing in coming to this game?
Yeah, even for weeks prior, like we've been really trying to work on our CT side, mainly utility usage and just kind of like different setups that we were trying and adding and taking out as well. So I think coming into this event, we were like very, very prepared. And although we had a few like mishaps, it's like okay, because all the stuff that we actually put into place throughout the past 4 weeks came to fruition. So it all worked.
So that preparation really paid off for you guys.
Yep.
Cool. So is there anything you'd like to say to the fans at home just before we head back to the analyst desk?
Yeah, thanks everyone for supporting. All the tweets that people give us are really encouraging. Yeah, just thanks to all the fans who are watching and stuff like that.
And anything from you, Nifty?
Yeah, thanks. You know, we love you all.
Thank you guys so much, and congratulations on that win. We're going to head back over to the analyst desk.
A big thank you to the fans and stuff like that. JKS with some choice words as he is crowned champion of the FACEIT Asia minor, along with his teammates Renegades. Thank you, Freya, for that interview. And a big shout out to our community casters as well, Dinko and Hawker. They carried that grand final fantastically with their cast, and that was to at least I think about 30,000 people, and this is just their second big event, so they should be very, very proud of themselves. Moving forwards, what can we say? Tyloo just did not have the resistance needed to put up a fight against Renegades. Train was a bit closer, but Inferno was very one-sided. Renegades looked strong throughout the map. Their T side was strong to close things out, but it was that CT side where they just locked down everything, and each bomb site was a secure facility. Eric and Sidhen, I think that was a great showing from the Australian, American, Norwegian side.
I've never seen JK smile so much, ever. Like, I've never seen him so happy. It's nice, though. And looking at the stats we have up here for you guys, like, JK, he was top fragging in 22. He was also, you know, it's very hard for me to make a decision as to who would be my choice of MVP for Renegades, but I'm just going to give the edge to JKS because he was just so explosive throughout the entire event.
That is roughly correct. Just looking at the figures in front of me, he had a very consistently high rating. Jacob did as well, but it was JKS, I think, overall that has the higher average.
Yeah, exactly, right? So he's got a little bit of edge. But again, Jacob performed really well. Nifty kind of came alive in that final map as well. He, on that pistol round, was hitting a lot of shots. Overall, let's be honest, we kind of expected Renegades to take this, right? They look like a very different unit.
Way different team.
Very different team coming into this particular matchup. And they just dominated on this map pick from Tyloo. Train looked a little iffy. We're like, maybe Tyloo might come back into this. But that CD side shutdown was great. And on the T side, once it won the pistol round, I think it was just Ben Ted trying his best to kind of delay the inevitable. He had a pretty decent showing, but it was not to be.
Yeah, Team RNG, I just liked how they fixed their mistakes as later it got in the tournament, and I think that shows a lot for the team, especially with the coach Ryu making these small adjustments, changing up here, learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
I mean, I think that, you know, they're seem like a complete team right now, and hopefully, you know, they could do well in the major and become that legend status that, you know,
they're looking for, right?
That they're looking for.
And if we do directly compare this best of 3 with the other best of 3 that they played earlier in the tournament where Tyloo came out on top. Yeah, I think your analysis in terms of them correcting their mistakes is absolutely true. Sudhem, would you like to add anything with regards to that aspect of Renegade's game and how they approach this best of 3 compared to the last?
Yeah, absolutely. The first one seemed very shaky, right? The first best of 3 could have gone either way. Could have been 2-0 for Tyloo, could have been 2-0 for Renegades. It was a very close affair overall. But I think the way this one differed was the fact that they didn't allow Tyloo to feel comfortable. They didn't get rattled at all. And if you look at Inferno, that CD side, there was a great mixture of aggression. There was a great mixture of, you know, controlled aggression. They knew when to aggress. They knew when to hold back. They knew how to hold their angles. It was just textbook Counter-Strike. And also, when you have JKS, Mr. Justin Savage, just going off.
Savage!
Savage! He was a savaging everyone. JK was doing his usual role, just being a rock in that unit. And even when, you know, Tyloo started stringing a few rounds together, 4 or 5, at the end, they managed to just, like, you know, close it out very comfortably. They took a tag timeout. We saw Ryu talking to them, speaking to them, and it kind of panned out very well.
We're going to have a surprise guest on the desk. I saw him poke his head round. He's looking rather pleased.
I think I have a headset for him as well, right there.
Yeah. Oh, does that headset actually work? If not, I can sub in mine, and the analyst can ask him some questions. Does it?
Check.
Yeah, I think that should work. So, Nifty, head on over to there, and we'll double check that the sound is working with our producers. Nifty, if you could say hello or anything at all.
Hello.
Oh, no, I can't hear him.
There should be an on button there.
It is.
Oh, it does work.
Oh, it works. Hi.
Oh, well, great to see you, Nifty. Coming off that victory, you must only be proud of yourself and the team.
Yeah, I feel good. Yeah, I feel pretty good. It was definitely a little bit of a hard time coming here. You know, I mean, we fell in the lower bracket, and a couple people on our team, especially me, we were sick. Like,
yeah.
The whole event. Only the first day was like good for us, really. I mean, we won the first match, and we were all feeling normal, but the second day it just hit us, you know, and it just kind of sucked. But.
What's been going on with yourself personally? You sound a bit better today, but when I ran into you last night, you were definitely slightly under the weather. Has that factored into these matchups at all today specifically?
No, I mean, not so much. I've been having to do a little bit more of like the thinking aspect and just kind of leading the guys. Not so much of like taking my own initiative in the actual game. So I've just been focusing on leading them and just getting us good T sides and good adjustments on CT sides, and that's it.
Analysts, would you like to ask him anything?
I have a question, actually. Were you guys surprised with the map picks from Tyloo, especially letting Overpass through in the final map and also picking Inferno against you guys?
No, just because we know that they're comfortable on Inferno, we're comfortable on Inferno. They're also like okay on Overpass. They like to play Overpass as well, and a lot of teams like to think, we were talking about this, a lot of teams like to think that we're like really bad on Overpass.
Yeah.
So
and also, like, did you approach, you know, you picking Train against them? Was that kind of like a mental thing going on there, or?
No, we just talked about it, like, let's just play them on like almost the same maps if we can, you know, like let's just do it, right? We were gonna play Train like a little bit differently, so yeah.
I want to find out if our demo is ready for this matchup, because Eric, it actually involves the young gentleman to your right, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
If you'd like to start talking about it, maybe get his opinion, we'll get that footage up on screen when it's ready.
All right. The thing that I like, what you guys have been kind of changing it up is this specific round is you and Tyloo are pushed halls on Inferno, and you guys have a pick, and then you guys fall back. And I like when you guys are mixing it up. You get the pick, you play it safe, 5-on-4, you know, take that numbers advantage. And I think that's a huge part of you guys' success is when you're able to you know, have your AWP in different spots of the map. Like on this round, it's in halls, but later in the half, you're AWP in B. And I think that's very powerful for an AWPer on any team if you're able to play all those kind of spots and then and pick off those angles.
Yes, it's, I think the statistic for us, I heard it from either our manager or somebody, it's like when we go up 5v4 and I get first pick with the AWP, we win like 85% of the time that round.
It's good. And
so if you're able wherever I can find that pick, and I can just stay alive afterwards and we can get into a good setup, we're going to win that round. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been shooting for as much as possible. I've been practicing that a lot. So I'm very happy with how we executed a lot of rounds like that.
There was actually another stat which I saw Peter from HLTV tweet out, that your utility usage has been insane damage-wise and flash assist-wise. Was this something you guys consciously worked on getting into the minor here?
Yes.
And also, who was the driving force behind that?
Yeah.
If it was Ryu or someone within the team?
It absolutely was Ryu. A lot of things I'll get to this later, I guess. But yes, what we worked on prior, especially in the boot camp and the weeks coming up to this minor, was just focusing on better utility. So we've been learning how to use like HEs better, how to use them together, just basically nating the info.
Got it.
A team that Astralis is very, very good at.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing that we hopefully we see more teams doing as well, is the fact that Astralis kind of changed the way teams are forced to kind of like approach the game right now, and I think that's pretty cool. Like the way I think you guys had more damage dealt and more flash assists than Big did in ESL 1 Cologne, and they got a lot of like a lot of praise for that.
And
right?
they're very good with utility.
Exactly. So I think it's pretty good stuff.
It was very difficult playing against them in Cologne sometimes actually because their HE usage was really, really good.
Yeah.
But yes, Ryu was the driving force behind that. And one of the reasons why I wanted him as a coach for us anyways, because we lacked in a few basic areas. And I think with more time with Ryu, I think he could help us develop those into, we don't have basic fundamental problems anymore, you know, so that we can really start getting into advanced stuff. And that's one of my goals for Ryu. So.
And Nifty, just what does it mean to you to reach this major happening in September?
I mean, it means a lot. You know, I'm just happy we made it through the minor. Like I said in the other interview, I really don't want to come back to another minor. I want to make it to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage, and just kind of set ourselves up for success in the future as well. So making this major is super important, especially nowadays.
Exactly. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your time. Please do go ahead and celebrate with your team. But,
congrats, man.
Young sir,
Congrats,
congratulations. I'd like to give you a handshake.
Appreciate it.
I've known this guy since he was literally about, I don't know, how old were you, 13, 14? 14, yeah. At the end of 2013, he was a Call of Duty semi-professional pro on console. One day, I always tell the story when I speak to him. It's just because I think it is a cool story about how talented this guy is and how driven he is, because not many people can do this, what I'm about to say. I remember I was on Steam. I had him on Steam because we'd met before, and some point during 2013 or early 2014, I'd noticed he'd been playing a lot of CS, constantly on the game. And so I messaged him. I was like, "Do you like the game? Do you play it?" He's like, "Yeah, I play it a lot. I think it's really cool." And like, I checked his rank. He was like double AK or something really bad. And then like a month.
Wait. What was your rank?
I was global, of course.
At that time, 2014.
Yeah, of course.
All right, of course.
And then about a month later, I checked again, and he was DMG. I spec one of his games. I was like, "Dude, you're playing this a lot." And he said to me, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go pro." He literally said to me, "I'm gonna go pro in this game," and I was like, "Okay, bro. Like, I mean, to say that when you're just like a random DMG MM player is like."
That's quite impressive.
That's a big ask, right?
That is a big ask, and you got to give credit where it's due, right? This guy seems driven. He seems like a driven individual.
He literally went and did it, put in the hard work, and over time joined different teams, and he's in another major now. And so, if any of you at home are looking for a story to aspire to or a character to follow, he's definitely one of the people in this scene that we are lucky enough to be filled with talented individuals like himself.
Yeah, and don't be like a Pala sort of global elite. Yeah. It's okay to be a DMG. It's okay to be an MGE as long as you're like Nifty, not a Pala global elite.
All right, thank you for that, Blair. We have one more demo to go over, I do believe.
Yeah, we do. This one, I think it's on Inferno. I think it's it's a kind of a basic thing we saw Tyloo do. It was on Inferno where they went for an A fake. It was a very textbook approach, so to speak, the way they went about it. You can see over here, they went for the Molotov, they went for the smokes, and they tried to sell this really hard. They had two guys, one towards apartments, one towards quads, and you can see they're actually committing to this. They went for the fake jump sound as well, and the counter, that forced a rotation, and JKS, he played a little aggressively, but look at this, he was forced to fall back, and Tyloo, they knew they had a few seconds to just make this happen, right? They didn't waste any time. They ran in. JKS had run out of utility. He had a smoke, but it was too late. They pushed him through. He lost the duel, but even if he had got a frag there, I think it would have been traded very quickly, and Tyloo would have won around. So it's a very textbook take there, but I kind of just wanted to point it out because apart from that, Tyloo really didn't do much, and I think it came in very too late in that half. If they tried something a little bit more innovative, some fakes, it's Inferno, right? It's one of the maps where you can go for so many multiple fakes, you can try wrapping around sites, and no, they really didn't go for it. They went for some basic map control. They tried to get some picks early on, but we saw the way Renegades were playing towards apartments, towards banana. They were going for that aggressive map control and whatnot. And unfortunately, Tyloo today, they just were not good enough. I'll just put it across that way. They weren't good enough in Inferno today. Great demo analysis from both of you, and it was cool to have Nifty on the desk there to get his opinion on a play that him and one of his teammates made themselves. Now let's go head-to-head with Jacob and Didi. We know JKS was the star for Renegades over the course of this minor. And let's not forget that Renegades had to battle out from a lower bracket position at one point. And so their journey here has been not
like an easy and one that was without hardship, and so they've done very well to get into the position they are now. But it was Jacob in this final series that was the standout for Renegades, and up against DD, we can see that their stats were pretty fairly similar. They were pretty similar, but it was JKM that was having the edge in that respect.
Yeah, JKM would be, like, if JKS wasn't playing at this level he's playing it right now, JKM would have easily been my MVP, right, for this entire tournament.
Yeah.
But in this series, he really stepped up. He's that's the thing, right? You have stars like JKS, you have Aza have his moments, Nifty, you know, with nifty 50s. We know how what he can do with that AWP at maps like Inferno and Cash. But JKM's, I think it was kind of like the missing element in this team. They didn't need another superstar player. They needed a rock, a consistent force of nature, and that's what JKM provides. And he's so calm, he's so composed, and he plays it in a very correct manner. You won't see some crazy 5-1 taps or some crazy flick shots. You're going to see fundamentally solid Counter-Strike with great awareness, great aim, and experience which he brings, and you know that EU experience that he brings, because he's played in a number of top teams in the past few years, right? So I'm happy for both Renegades and for Jacob. For Renegades that they found him as a 5th player, and for Jacob, because for such a long time we expected him alongside Rain to be the breakout players from Norway. Rain went on to do great things. He's in FACEIT right now, and he's just been one of the best players in the world. But Jacob kind of seemed like he was lost for a time being there in the wilderness.
That's literally what he was. I mean, after Kingwin became G2, he joined that G2 team, then they became FaZe, and it was after that he wasn't really sure what he was going to do next. I remember speaking to him about it at the time at an event where he was making that transition, and then he ended up on Dignitas, and then there was that period where he wasn't sure what was going on again, and he ended up on Renegades, and it just seems like a good fit. Yeah,
he finally found home with the rowdy Aussies.
Yes, indeed. Eric, let's take a look at the bracket and remind everybody at home what has happened over the course of these final matches. So, start off with Tyloo versus Renegades, just like the final, but it was Tyloo that came out on top first. Scars fell to Tainted, and Renegades beat Scars in that lower bracket to then meet Tainted, who had lost to Tyloo. And that meant our grand final after Renegades beat Tainted earlier today in that Australian derby was Tyloo versus Renegades. And it was the Renegades that came out on top. But both of those finalists securing a place at the FACEIT Major in September. And not half bad for either of those teams to also come away with $30,000 to Renegades and $15,000 to Tyloo, respectively.
Can't be too upset if you're Tyloo. You still made the major, but you kind of wanted to finish the tournament and come out with a win. But
yeah, I do feel in a sense slightly disappointing. I think they could have maybe had a better go at gaming the veto, and then when they actually end up on those maps the way they did training Inferno, that they could have at least on Inferno had a bit more to give.
I think
or a bit more prepared. It's hard to say because we don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes, but just being able to offer more of a fight.
Yeah, true. I think it's a good thing they lost, right, to a certain degree. It's kind of like a wake-up call, because they've been looking very dominant throughout this entire minor, at the same time not really being challenged properly. At this time around, the fact that they lost, it's kind of like a wake-up call. I think they're going to be playing IEM Shanghai happening in a week or so, and then obviously they're going to be a small little break, then they're going to go for DreamHack Stockholm, and then of course there's the majors, right? So I think it's a pretty good wake-up call for this team. They lost in a very convincing fashion. I don't think they really showed up at all, to be very honest, right? And for Renegades, man, like 2 best-of-3s back-to-back, and they won it all 2-0, 2-0 very convincingly.
Yeah.
Like, the best team won today.
Indeed, they did. Eric and Sidhen, would you like to give me any closing thoughts?
Thank you for having me. It's an awesome show, and the minds were fun to watch, and it brings a warm feeling to my heart, Paula.
Bro, it's a pleasure to have you here. I'm happy that you came down and got on the desk with us. Suden, anything from yourself?
Nothing. I think it was a really fun minors all out. Right? We saw some very good storylines. We saw unique stars from Israel. You know, they had a pretty good showing. We had Scars Absolute, the new Japanese, super team, so to speak. Everyone's really excited about them. I'm excited about them. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the minors. I was super happy. First time for me in London, in the UK. So
welcome.
Well, I'm having fun.
Welcome.
I'm having fun. Yeah.
Exactly.
Same for us as well. So yeah, I really had a blast. I think it was a great event overall.
Indeed, I think that this Asia minor has certainly delivered on all levels, just as the CIS and Americas did before it. Everybody at home, do not forget to check us out on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and use, one last time guys, the hashtag FACEITMinor. My name is Parla. I've been your desk host for this minor. We do not have any more from the Asia region. That will be it. We've crowned our champions, and they are Renegades. Tyloo and Renegades going forward to the FACEIT Major in September. But luckily for all of you at home, we still have a lot more of the FACEIT minors to come, namely the European minor. We need to close that out, and it will continue directly after we come off air now. Thank you for joining us. Do not go anywhere, and we will see you on that next stream shortly.